up, what up? Welcome to Mr. Brown's class where there's no whining and no complaining. Today we're talking about adding and subtracting integers. And when we talk about integers, right, we're talking about positive and negative numbers. Okay? Whole numbers are only positive numbers, but integers are both positive and negative. All right, so we're going to start off by looking at these equations, right, like on a number line. Okay, so we have negative 3. So let's make a number line, and here is 0. All right, and let's go over to negative 3. We go to the first number. Okay, and so we draw like an arrow to negative 3. All right, now plus a negative 5. All right, now if we add 5, all right, when we add, we move to the right. But when we add a negative, we're going to continue to go to the left. Okay, adding a negative is like subtracting. We're going to the left. So we're going to go 5 more to the left. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so here's, all right, negative 3, all right, plus a negative 5, all right, and so we're at negative 8 here. Okay, so adding two negatives is just like adding two positives, except for that it's going to be negative. So negative 3 plus negative 5 is negative 8. All right, so when we add, remember when we add, we move to the right. Right? When we subtract, we move to the left. Okay, so when we add a negative, we're just subtracting, we're going to the left. So that would be negative 8. Okay, now this one's a little bit trickier. Okay, so here, again, number line, right? And we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at negative 8. Right, so let's draw a line out here. All right, so negative 8. Now, we're adding a positive 2. So here we added a negative, so we went to the left. Now we're just adding a positive 2, so we're going to go 2 to the right. All right, so where are we at? All right, that's going to be negative 6. Now, another way that you could figure this out, right, is by looking at the two numbers, okay? So you have a negative 8, right, and a positive 2, all right? So they're different signs. This is a positive, this is a negative, all right? So how much bigger is negative 8 than 2? It's 6 bigger, right? 8's 6 bigger than 2. All right? Now, which one's the furthest away from 0? The negative. So it's going to be negative. Okay? So once you get the hang of it, you're going to figure out that, well, 8's 6 more than 2, and negative 8 is further away than 2 is. All right? So it's going to be negative 6. All right? So let's look at this one. All right, so we're at 0, and we go to a positive 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and then it's just like this. Adding a negative 3 is the same as subtracting. So adding 3 would be 10, but we're adding a negative 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 this way. Adding a negative 3, right? So we're at negative 4. Okay, so this equals negative 4. And again, look at this, right? So this is a positive number, even though it doesn't show it, right? So 7 is 4 more than 3. And the bigger number is, oh shoot, this is a positive 4. All right, the bigger number is positive. All right, so it'd be a positive 4. All right, so let me give you one to try. on your own. Okay, so let's do negative 9, right, plus, all right, a negative 2. What do you think this one is? Pause it. Okay, so this one, right, we'd be at negative 9 on a number line, and then we'd add another negative 2, so this would be negative 11 because they're the same sign. Okay, now what about if we did negative 9, okay, plus a positive 2? Pause it. That's going to be negative 7. Okay, because we added a negative 2, we kept going negative. All right, we add a positive, we're going to go back to the right. Okay, and again, 9 is 7 more than 2, and 9 is further away from 0 than 2 is, and it's negative, so it's going to be negative 7. Okay, now what about subtracting? Now this is going to be strange. Now we're not going to be talking about problems like this. 8 minus 2. Okay, that's 6. You don't have to do anything weird with this. But for all problems that include integers, negative numbers, all right, we're going to always change subtraction to adding its opposite. So always remember subtraction, okay, equals adding the opposite. So we're turning all subtraction problems, unless it's like this, into adding the opposite. So instead of negative 3 minus a negative 5, we're going to change it from subtraction to adding a positive 5. Right? We do nothing with the first number. That stays negative. Right? But we change the subtraction to adding, and then we change this to the opposite sign. Okay? Now, from the last one, you should be able to know what this is going to be. Right? We're at negative 3, and we're going to add 5. Right? Adding a positive is the same as just straight adding. Negative 3 plus 5. Right? Now, 5 is 2 more than 3. And which one's further away from 0? 5 or 3? 5 is further away from 0, so it's going to be positive 2. You don't have to write the positive 2. It's just 2. All right? Okay, let's look at this one. All right? So instead of subtraction, we're going to add the opposite. All right? Now, look at this. This is a negative, adding another negative. So this is just going to be negative 10. Right? If they're both negative and you're adding, you just add them and keep the negative sign. Okay? Now, this one is actually an easy problem once you see it. Right? Instead of, we have 4 minus a negative, so we change it to adding a positive 5. Okay? And like I said, adding a positive is the same as just adding, right? So this obviously equals 9. All right, so let me give you a couple more. All right, let me give you negative 7 minus, all right, a negative 9. See if you can figure that one out. Okay, so we're going to change it to adding the opposite. All right? So now, they're different signs. A negative plus a positive. So they're 2 apart. And the one that's further away from 0 is the positive. So this is positive 2. All right, let me give you another one. Okay, pause it. Okay, on this one, negative 8. Right, we change this to adding all right, a negative 9, all right? So they're both negative and we're adding, so it's going to be negative 17. All right, one last one. All right, pause it. Okay, so this is going to be 6 plus a positive 8. All right, so it's just 6 plus 8, which is 14. Okay, so remember, right, subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe and like below, and remember to be more awesome.